Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to take you on a journey to a profound realization, one that has the power to transform your relationships, reshape your approach to conflict, and redefine the way you perceive victory. It is the understanding that the most effective way to destroy your enemy is not through fighting but through wisdom, influence, and strategy. Conflict is inevitable in life. Whether it's in the workplace, within families, or among nations, opposing forces will always collide. But what separates the victorious from the defeated is not the might of their fists or the sharpness of their words, but the strength of their minds. You see, battles are often won before they even begin. When you choose wisdom over force, you elevate yourself above the level of confrontation and set yourself on the path to true and lasting victory. Imagine for a moment a seasoned chess player. This individual doesn't win the game by reacting to every single move of their opponent. Instead, they think several steps ahead, anticipating every possible counter and ensuring their ultimate objective is met. This is the essence of strategy over strength. In life, the same principle applies. Those who win without fighting are those who understand the importance of preparation and foresight. They don't waste time on petty skirmishes, they conserve their energy for what truly matters. Victory begins in the mind. It is not about overpowering your adversary with force, but about outthinking them. When you focus on dominating the mind rather than the battlefield, you dismantle the enemy's strength at its source. You undermine their confidence, their motivation, and their very reason for fighting. To win this way requires a level of self-control and emotional mastery that many fail to cultivate. But when you have it, you become untouchable. Too often, we allow ourselves to be drawn into conflicts because we feel the need to prove something. Someone insults us and we feel compelled to respond. Someone challenges us and we take the bait, thinking that our worth is tied to the outcome of the fight. But the truth is, the strongest person in any room is the one who knows when to stay silent, when to walk away, and when to choose a higher path. The real battle is not external, it is internal. It is the battle to remain calm under pressure, to think clearly when emotions run high, and to act with purpose when chaos surrounds you. There is great power in turning opposition into opportunity. Every adversary carries within them the potential to become an ally. This is not just a lofty ideal, it is a practical strategy. When you take the time to understand the motivations, fears, and desires of your enemy, you gain a powerful advantage. You begin to see that their opposition is not always personal. Sometimes it is born out of misunderstanding, insecurity, or pain. By addressing the root cause of their hostility, you can often neutralize it entirely. Think of the great leaders and visionaries throughout history. They understood that influence is far more powerful than force. Influence changes hearts and minds, while force only changes circumstances temporarily. The person who wields influence can reshape the future without ever lifting a hand in anger. They lead not by coercion but by inspiration. When you become a person of influence, you destroy your enemies not by breaking them but by transforming them. Mastering your emotions is a crucial step in this process. Anger and fear are the fuel of conflict. They cloud your judgment, weaken your resolve, and give your enemy an advantage. But when you learn to master your emotions, you gain control over the situation. You become like a calm sea unshaken by the storms that rage above. Your composure disarms your opponent, leaving them uncertain and vulnerable. They expect you to react with anger, but when you respond with grace, you take away their power. Finally, it is vital to remember that victory is not about defeating others, but about fulfilling your purpose. Your energy, your time, and your resources are too valuable to waste on meaningless battles. Every moment spent fighting an unnecessary war is a moment stolen from your destiny. Focus on your vision and let it guide you. When you stay true to your purpose, you rise above the noise and distractions of conflict. You become a beacon of light, drawing others toward unity and understanding. Ladies and gentlemen, let us commit to a higher way of living, a way that values wisdom over violence, strategy over strength, and purpose over pride. In doing so, we not only destroy our enemies without fighting, but also create a legacy of peace, influence, and transformation that will endure for generations to come. True victory is not determined by the clash of swords or the firing of weapons, but by the control of the mind. The greatest battles are fought and won in the realm of thoughts and perspectives long before any physical confrontation occurs. To conquer the mind is to eliminate the need for a battlefield. When you outthink your adversary, you gain an advantage that no amount of physical strength can rival. Your enemy's power lies not in their resources, their position, or even their numbers. It lies in their perspective. How they see you themselves and the situation defines their approach. If you can dominate their perspective, you remove their ability to fight effectively. This requires more than cleverness. It demands emotional intelligence, the ability to understand what motivates them, and the foresight to anticipate their moves. Consider this: an opponent who feels confident in their strategy will fight boldly, often recklessly. But the moment you introduce doubt, the moment you shift their thinking, their strength begins to waver. By influencing how they perceive the conflict, you gain control over their actions. It is not about manipulation, it is about mastery over the situation, the narrative, and ultimately their willingness to oppose you. One of the most profound ways to conquer the mind is through clarity of purpose. When your vision is clear, you become immovable. Those who oppose you will struggle to understand or counter someone who operates with unwavering focus. They may attack, but their strikes will miss the mark because they cannot grasp the depth of your intent. This clarity frustrates and weakens them, forcing them to question their own motives. Another powerful tactic is empathy. Yes, empathy. It may seem counterintuitive to use empathy in a struggle, but it is a tool of immense power. When you understand the fears, desires, and insecurities of your adversary, you gain insight into their next move. Empathy allows you to step into their shoes and see the battlefield from their perspective. It reveals not only their strengths, but also their vulnerabilities. And when you address those vulnerabilities, sometimes with compassion, other times with calculated action, you dismantle their ability to fight. To conquer the mind, you must also control your own. Your adversary will often seek to provoke you, to draw you into a reactionary state where you act out of impulse rather than strategy. But the moment you lose control of your emotions, you hand them the upper hand. Discipline is key. When you remain calm and composed, you send a powerful message: you cannot be shaken. This unshakable confidence is disarming. It sows doubt in your opponent's mind, leaving them uncertain about their chances of success. History is filled with examples of leaders and thinkers who won great victories without ever engaging in battle. They understood the power of outthinking their enemies. They used negotiation, persuasion, and strategic alliances to achieve their goals. They knew that true victory is not about destroying your opponent, but about rendering their opposition irrelevant. In life, this principle applies to every conflict you face. Whether it is a disagreement with a colleague, a dispute in a relationship, or a challenge in your community, conquering the mind allows you to resolve issues without unnecessary confrontation. It is about shifting perspectives, finding common ground, and creating solutions that benefit everyone involved. Remember, the fight becomes unnecessary when you reshape the thinking of your adversary. You do not need to break them down, you need to elevate their understanding. To show them a path that aligns with your purpose and theirs, and you will find that the enemy you once faced can become a partner in progress. True power lies in the ability to influence without force, to lead without coercion, and to win without fighting. Conquer the mind before the battlefield, and you will find that the battlefield itself is no longer needed. The greatest victories in life often arise not from defeating our adversaries, but from transforming them. Every opposition you face is an opportunity waiting to be uncovered. Hidden within every adversary is the potential for an ally. And it is the wise who seek to unlock this potential. To win without fighting is not merely to avoid conflict, but to turn it into a force for good. This is the essence of leadership and the hallmark of those who pursue a higher purpose. Opposition often springs from misunderstanding, fear, or a difference in perspective. What many see as hostility is sometimes nothing more than a misalignment of goals. When we approach our adversaries with the intent to destroy, we close the door on possibilities. But when we see opposition as a chance for dialogue, growth, and transformation, we open pathways to partnerships that were once unimaginable. Think of it this way: the energy it takes to fight an enemy is the same energy it takes to understand them. But the outcomes are vastly different. Fighting depletes resources, strains relationships, and leaves scars visible or unseen. Understanding, on the other hand, builds bridges, fosters collaboration, and creates something greater than either party could achieve alone. Transforming opposition begins with humility. It requires you to step back and ask yourself, what can I learn from this person? What value might they bring if we were working together instead of against each other? This mindset shifts your approach from confrontation to curiosity. When you approach someone with a willingness to listen and understand, you disarm them. You challenge their expectations of hostility and pave the way for constructive dialogue. It also requires a vision bigger than yourself. If your only goal is to win a personal victory, you will always see your adversary as a threat. But when your purpose is higher, when it involves the well-being of others, the growth of a community, or the advancement of a noble cause, you begin to see that even those who oppose you can contribute to that vision. They may have skills, resources, or insights that, when aligned with your purpose, create exponential impact. History provides countless examples of this principle. Great leaders understood that turning enemies into allies was not only the most efficient strategy, but also the most enduring. They knew that force might secure temporary compliance, but mutual respect and shared goals create lasting peace. These leaders looked beyond the immediate conflict and saw the long-term value of unity. Transforming opposition into opportunity is not without challenges. It requires patience, resilience, and a willingness to take the first step, even when it feels risky. It means setting aside your pride, extending an olive branch, and sometimes forgiving those who may not yet deserve it. But make no mistake, this is not a sign of weakness. It is a demonstration of strength and wisdom. To rise above the impulse to retaliate and instead seek reconciliation is the mark of a true leader. When you transform opposition into opportunity, you create a ripple effect. Others see your example and are inspired to follow suit. What once seemed like an insurmountable conflict becomes a story of collaboration and triumph. Your decision to turn adversaries into allies doesn't just benefit you, it benefits everyone connected to the situation. Imagine the possibilities if this mindset were applied in every sphere of life. In workplaces, rival teams could combine their efforts to drive innovation. In families, disagreements could lead to deeper understanding and stronger bonds. On a global scale, nations could set aside their differences to address the pressing challenges that affect humanity as a whole. Every adversary carries within them the potential to contribute to a greater purpose. It is up to you to uncover that potential. Winning without fighting is not about suppressing your opponent. It is about lifting both yourself and them to a higher plane of understanding and cooperation. When you approach opposition with this mindset, you not only destroy the idea of enmity, but also create something far more powerful, a partnership that serves a higher purpose. Let us not waste the energy of conflict. Let us channel it into building bridges, creating solutions, and forging connections that lead to a better future. By transforming opposition into opportunity, we do not just win, we elevate everyone involved. There is a quiet force in this world, one far more powerful than brute strength or loud declarations. It does not demand attention, nor does it seek to dominate through fear or aggression. Yet it shapes lives, redirects conflicts, and builds legacies that endure long after the dust of battle has settled. This force is influence. Influence is the invisible hand that moves mountains without strain. It is the ability to guide, inspire, and reshape the thoughts and actions of others without coercion. Unlike force, which demands compliance, influence invites transformation. While force imposes a temporary result, influence creates lasting change. True leaders understand this distinction, and they wield influence with the precision and care of a master craftsman. To influence is to touch the heart, not merely the mind. When you change someone's heart, you change their motivations, their values, and ultimately their behavior. This is a deeper and more enduring victory than anything force could achieve. Force may compel someone to follow your orders, but influence inspires them to embrace your vision as their own. The person who leads through influence gains not just obedience but loyalty, respect, and trust. How does one cultivate influence? It begins with integrity. People follow those they trust, and trust is built on consistency, authenticity, and a commitment to doing what is right even when it is difficult. A person of integrity becomes a beacon in a world often clouded by doubt and deception. Their words carry weight, not because they are loud, but because they are rooted in truth. Their actions inspire confidence, not because they are forceful, but because they are aligned with their values. Another critical component of influence is empathy. To lead and inspire others, you must first understand them. What are their dreams, fears, and struggles? What motivates them and what holds them back? Influence is not about imposing your will, it is about aligning your vision with the aspirations of others. When people feel seen, heard, and valued, they are far more likely to follow your lead willingly. Communication is another cornerstone of influence. Words have the power to heal, inspire, and ignite change. But it is not just what you say, it is how you say it. The tone, timing, and delivery of your message can determine its impact. A leader who communicates with clarity, compassion, and conviction can move hearts and minds in ways that no amount of force ever could. Influence also requires patience. Changing hearts is not a quick process. It takes time to build trust, to demonstrate integrity, and to prove that your vision is worth following. Those who rely on force often act out of impatience, seeking immediate results. But true leaders know that lasting change is worth the wait. They plant seeds of influence and nurture them with care, knowing that the harvest will come in due time. Force is often seen as a sign of strength, but in reality, it is a sign of limitation. It reveals an inability to persuade, to inspire, or to lead through conviction. Force may win battles, but it cannot win wars of the heart. Influence, on the other hand, is limitless. Its reach extends far beyond what physical power could achieve, and its impact endures long after the initial spark. Consider this: when you lead through influence, you destroy enemies without ever lifting a hand. You change their hearts so profoundly that they no longer see you as an adversary. They become allies, partners, and supporters of your vision. This is the ultimate form of victory, not one achieved by breaking bodies, but by building bridges. In a world often driven by force, influence is the higher path. It is the way of the visionary, the peacemaker, and the true leader. It requires wisdom, patience, and a deep commitment to understanding and elevating others. But the rewards are immeasurable. Through influence, you do not just change circumstances, you change lives. Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest leaders, those who leave an indelible mark on history, are not remembered for the wars they fought or the enemies they defeated. They are remembered for the hearts they touched, the minds they inspired, and the legacies they built through the power of influence. Choose this path, and you will find that you can move mountains not with force, but with the invisible hand of influence. Conflict often begins not with actions, but with emotions. Anger, fear, pride, these are the sparks that ignite battles. When emotions take control, rationality is swept away, and even small disputes can escalate into full-blown wars. But those who master their emotions hold the key to mastering conflict itself. They understand that controlling their own inner world is the first and most crucial step to disarming their opponent and neutralizing hostility without a single blow. Emotions are powerful forces. They can drive us to achieve greatness, but they can just as easily lead us into unnecessary conflict. In moments of tension, it is natural to feel anger when wronged, fear when threatened, or pride when challenged. These feelings are not inherently wrong, they are part of what makes us human. However, the danger lies in allowing these emotions to rule us. When we let emotions dictate our actions, we lose the clarity and composure necessary to navigate conflict effectively. The mastery of emotions begins with self-awareness. You must first recognize what you are feeling before you can control it. In the heat of the moment, ask yourself, why am I angry? What is driving this fear? Is my pride worth the cost of this conflict? These questions create a pause, a moment of reflection that allows your rational mind to regain control. It is in this pause that wisdom is born. When you master your emotions, you disarm your opponent in ways they cannot anticipate. Most adversaries expect retaliation. They prepare for anger, for defensiveness, for counterattacks. But when you respond with calmness and composure, you confuse them. They are left uncertain, unable to predict your next move. Your calmness disrupts their strategy and creates an environment where hostility cannot thrive. Consider this: a calm response in the face of provocation is not a sign of weakness, it is a display of immense strength. It takes far more courage and control to remain composed under pressure than to lash out in anger. Those who can maintain their equilibrium in turbulent times are the ones who truly hold the upper hand. Emotionally charged conflicts often spiral out of control because one person's reaction fuels the others, creating a cycle of escalation. But when you choose to remain calm, you break that cycle. Your restraint sets a tone that can de-escalate even the most heated situations. You become the voice of reason, the steady presence that others look to for guidance. Mastering emotions also allows you to see the bigger picture. In the midst of conflict, emotions can narrow your perspective, making it difficult to see beyond the immediate issue. But when you step back and control your feelings, you gain a broader view. You begin to see the underlying causes of the conflict, the motivations of the other party, and the potential pathways to resolution. This clarity empowers you to make decisions that are not only effective but also aligned with your long-term goals. The ability to control your emotions does not mean suppressing them. Suppression can lead to resentment and unresolved tensions. Instead, it means acknowledging your emotions, understanding their source, and choosing how to respond. It is about transforming reactive impulses into deliberate actions. History has shown us that some of the greatest leaders were those who mastered their emotions. They faced immense pressure, provocation, and even betrayal, yet they remained composed. Their calmness under fire allowed them to think strategically, to negotiate effectively, and to lead with wisdom. They understood that losing control of their emotions would not only weaken their position, but also undermine their credibility as leaders. In personal relationships, workplaces, and communities, this principle holds true. When you control your emotions, you set an example for others to follow. You become a stabilizing force, someone who can handle conflict without creating further harm. This influence often leads others to mirror your behavior, reducing tension and fostering a more constructive environment. Mastery of emotions is not just about avoiding conflict, it is about transforming it. When you control your feelings, you shift the dynamic of the interaction. What was once a clash of egos becomes an opportunity for dialogue, understanding, and resolution. You neutralize hostility not by overpowering your opponent, but by refusing to be drawn into their emotional chaos. Ladies and gentlemen, the strongest warriors are not those who wield their weapons with brute force, but those who wield their emotions with wisdom. When you master your emotions, you master the conflict. You disarm your adversary, neutralize hostility, and pave the way for peace, all without a single blow. This is the power of emotional mastery, and it is a power available to each and every one of us. True victory is not forged in the heat of battle, nor is it measured by the strength of one's force. It is born out of vision, a clear, unshakable understanding of your purpose and destination. While violence may secure temporary triumphs, it is vision that shapes legacies and builds futures. The one who holds the vision the one who remains steadfast in their purpose, ultimately controls the future. Winning without fighting requires a deep commitment to staying focused on your vision, even when faced with opposition. The noise of conflict, the allure of retaliation, and the temptation to prove your strength can easily distract you from what truly matters. But those who are guided by vision refuse to be derailed. They understand that battles are not won by defeating an enemy, but by achieving a greater purpose. Vision gives you clarity in the midst of chaos. When others are caught up in the emotions of the moment, your vision acts as your compass, pointing you toward the path of wisdom and progress. It allows you to rise above petty disputes and see the bigger picture. This clarity is not only your strength, it becomes a guiding light for others. When you lead with vision, you inspire unity, not division. Conflict often arises when people feel unseen, unheard, or uncertain about their role in a greater purpose. But a clear vision has the power to align diverse perspectives, bringing people together under a common goal. It provides direction, meaning, and a sense of belonging. Those who might have once stood against you can be drawn toward your vision, not because you forced them, but because they see the value in what you are building. Vision is also a powerful antidote to violence. Violence thrives in the absence of purpose. It erupts when individuals or groups lose sight of what truly matters. But when a vision is present, it offers an alternative, a way forward that does not rely on destruction. It shows that progress can be achieved through creativity, collaboration, and perseverance. To live and lead with vision requires discipline. It is easy to react to opposition with aggression or to meet resistance with force. But those guided by vision understand that every action must serve the greater purpose. They choose their battles wisely, often opting to avoid them altogether when they do not contribute to their mission. This restraint is not weakness, it is strength rooted in wisdom. The power of vision lies in its ability to create lasting impact. Violence may settle disputes in the short term, but it rarely builds anything enduring. It leaves scars, fosters resentment, and perpetuates cycles of conflict. Vision, on the other hand, plants seeds for the future. It lays the foundation for progress, healing, and reconciliation. Throughout history, the most transformative leaders were not those who wielded the sword, but those who wielded vision. They were individuals who saw beyond the immediate struggle to the potential of what could be. They inspired nations, movements, and communities by painting a picture of a brighter future, one worth striving for together. This principle is not confined to history books, it applies to every area of life. In your relationships, your workplace, and your community, your ability to maintain a clear vision will determine the quality of your victories. When conflicts arise, ask yourself, does engaging in this dispute bring me closer to my purpose? Does it contribute to unity, or does it sow division? These questions will guide you toward actions that align with your vision. Winning without fighting does not mean avoiding challenges or denying the presence of opposition. It means choosing to engage in a way that uplifts rather than tears down. It means holding fast to your vision, even when the path is difficult. And it means inviting others to join you in building something greater than yourselves. Ladies and gentlemen, the one with a clear vision controls the future. Violence may appear to offer immediate solutions, but it is vision that creates lasting change. When you stay focused on your purpose and guide others toward unity, you achieve victories that transcend the battlefield. Let us choose the higher path, the path of vision over violence, and together, let us shape a future worth fighting for, not with weapons, but with wisdom, purpose, and unwavering focus. As we stand at the crossroads of choice in every conflict we face, let us remember this profound truth: true victory is not found in overpowering others, but in uplifting them. It is not in the destruction of adversaries, but in the transformation of opposition into opportunity, hostility into harmony, and division into unity. The principles we have explored today, strategy over strength, the power of influence, mastery of emotions, and the unshakable clarity of vision, are not mere strategies for avoiding conflict. They are the foundations for building a life, a legacy, and a world where peace is not passive, but active, not the absence of war, but the presence of purpose. Winning without fighting is the hallmark of wisdom. It is the art of rising above the noise of conflict to see the greater purpose that binds us all. It is leadership at its finest, not defined by force, but by the ability to inspire, to guide, and to unite. As you leave this place, I challenge you to choose the higher path. Be the one who transforms opposition with insight, who calms storms with composure, and who builds bridges where others see barriers. Lead with vision, wield influence with integrity, and let your victories be measured not by what you conquer, but by what you create. Remember, the battles that matter most are not fought with weapons, but with wisdom. Not on the battlefield, but within the heart. And when you walk in this truth, you don't just win, you change the world. Thank you.